Hi, this is Nev Lapwood, snowboardaddiction.com. A miller flip is originally a skateboarding trick. It's a frontside hand plant where you flip all the way around to fakie. In snowboarding, a real miller flip is done in a quarter pipe. However, the trick has evolved and is now commonly known as an inverted frontside 360 while dragging or planting your front hand over a feature like this. You must be very comfortable with front threes on all kinds of features. You'll also find our hand plants video helpful, which explains the steps and techniques to learning hand plants and real miller flips in a quarter pipe. Step 1. Motion. You can get the motion of this trick using a large bed. Stand at the end of the bed in your snowboard stance. Jump and roll your back over the side of the bed, landing back to your feet. This simulates the motion of an off-axis 360. If you have a training board, you can get the feel of doing an indie grab at the same time, making this practice step even more realistic. Step 2. Feature. Finding a feature that lends itself to miller flips is going to make learning this trick a hell of a lot easier. The ideal feature has an upwards lip and a downhill landing. It may have something on top of it like this culvert, or it could just be a lip made of snow. Something that goes up, followed by something that goes down. The steeper the angles, the easier it'll be to learn. It's also possible to do on flattish features like the knuckles of park jumps, but it's more difficult and requires far more pop. Step 3. Warm up. Get used to the feature by doing a straight air for the speed, then warm up with a few front threes. If it's a tube like we have, try tapping the feature on the way over. A frontside 360 uses the exact same speed, the same approach path, and has the same landing as a miller flip. It's an essential trick to have on lock when warming up, and is even better if you can do it with an indie grab. Step 4. Mellow Attempts. Approach the feature with the same speed and angle as if you're about to do a frontside 360. But instead of popping from your heel edge, take off more from the tail of your board, which will initiate your weight slightly backwards and put you into the motion of an off-axis front three. On your first few attempts, you may find it easier to touch with both hands on the feature. This adds security, helping you to feel more comfortable. You may not get very far off axes at this stage, but the trick will still work, and with several attempts, you'll start to get the rough feeling. A common problem is whether trying to drag your front hand too soon, or just not taking enough speed. Make sure to pop from the lip before dragging your hand so that your motion is heading over the feature. Step 5. Off axis. A miller flip still looks good when only 90 degrees off axis. However, as you get further upside down, it'll look more impressive and feel rad. As you become comfortable, get a little further upside down with each try. The further you lean back and the harder you pop from your tail, the more off axis you'll get. To feel the motion of popping from your tail, get low and roll onto your back into the miller flip motion. Our backflips and hand plants tutorials explain this technique in detail. It is really important to drag or plant your hand, as this is what stops you from going completely upside down and allows your motion to come back to your feet. The pressure on your arm is very light, so you don't have to worry about hurting it. Step 6. Add grab. The essential way to make this trick look rad is to grab. Your front hand is occupied, so the obvious grab is indie. The trick does work without a grab, and it is easier to learn this way, but it definitely looks better while grabbing. You need to really commit to being compact while in the air. It may take a bunch of practice attempts until you can get the grab, so if you're having trouble, practice rolling on the snow into the grab, rolling onto a bed with a training board, or try to get a front three indie on the same feature. Backside. A miller flip is only the name for this trick in the frontside direction. However, it's possible to learn a similar motion backside. For lack of a better name, let's call this a backside miller flip. You can learn them using the same steps. Step 1, find an appropriate feature. Step 2, warm up by doing a straight air, a bunch of back threes, and anything else that gets you comfortable with it. A backside 360 uses the same speed, approach line, and landing as a backside Mellow flip. Step 3. As you leave the lip of the feature, pop more from the tail of your board and less from the toe edge. This will put your rotation into an off-axis 360. Use two hands at first if that makes you feel more comfortable, then move to only dragging or planting your backhand. Step 4. You don't need to be completely upside down, but the more off-axis you get, the better this trick will look. Adding a melon grab will make it look rad. Summary. This tutorial outlines the steps you can try to learn Mellow flips. Finding the appropriate feature is going to be a big help for learning. Make sure you can do front threes on it, then to get off axis, pop more from your tail and less from your edge. The more upside down you get, the better it will be. Add a grab to make it look rad. This is Nev Lapwood, snowboardaddiction.com.